Virat Kohli has quit as Test captain of India, and his fans are very, very upset because they feel he was not treated right by the BCCI. And then, of course, Anushka Sharma came out with this very, very emotional, supportive letter on Instagram. And of course, we're like, is there a controversy or is there not a controversy? And to answer these doubts of us, we have our resident cricket expert, Chandresh Narayanan, with us today. You know him. He's a fantastic journalist. He's a cricket writer, ex-Times of India, ex-Indian Express. Of course, you can catch him on his YouTube channel, which is Cricket Chronicles with Chandresh, almost every single day. And whenever we're in doubt, especially about Virat Kohli, we turn to him. Chandresh, thank you very much for joining us today again.
Chandresh, welcome back, and thanks once again so much for doing this.
Always a pleasure, Jagu.
Now, let us delve straight into the issue. Virat Kohli has resigned from Test captaincy. Is there a Shariyantra? Is there a controversy? Is there a plot? Is there a conspiracy? Or is it just that his time has come?
His time had certainly not come. But I think that it was building towards it. I would have ideally liked him to be the Test captain for another couple of years before he hands over the baton. It was just about 32, 33 right now. Ideal time to build this team because he has built it over the last 7 years. But I think whatever happened before the South Africa tour, irrespective of the result in South Africa, I was certain that he was going to quit. Either he quits or he's pushed before he's pushed.
But are you referring to the fact that he was sort of unceremoniously dumped as the 50
ODI
over
captain.
ODI captain?
I think that is the biggest thing. Also, I think that he took it upon himself to anoint himself as the Test and ODI captain. So it's not his job to anoint himself. So when he resigned as T20 captain, he said that I'm looking forward to continuing leading India in ODIs and Test cricket. That's not his job.
But he was already the captain, right? So he was just making sure that we are not panicking that he's going to quit as captain everywhere.
No, but that's not for him to say, in the sense that these are all words that needed to be chosen quite smartly before he says something. And I think he's been a little tactless in the last 6-7 months. I think he hasn't handled it. Who would have imagined a year ago that the most powerful man in Indian cricket, I think most powerful man in the subcontinent cricket, after Imran Khan and Arjuna Ranatunga, he was the most powerful man in cricket in the subcontinent. And for him to just go quickly down the pecking order, it's just a way of life once again reminding us that nothing is forever. So you need.
But what went wrong? What went wrong?
It's literally been 4 months, right? September was when he resigned. December is when they got him off the ODI captaincy. And Chandresh, your point is right about he cannot anoint himself, because then I think somebody in the BCCI, maybe it was Ganguly, made a statement saying we don't want 2 white ball captains.
I don't quite agree with that theory, because I think one day and T20 cricket are 2 separate formats, but
different formats.
I am in a minority in that sense in thinking. But anyways, I think that what he made a mistake was September. They asked him not to resign at that time. Whatever he might say, he says that we asked him to continue. It came as a shock to everybody. No one expected him to resign as the T20 captain. He claims that everybody received it nicely. Ideally, he should have waited till the end of the T20 World Cup to announce his resignation. By announcing his resignation beforehand, the tournament became about him rather than about the team. So
maybe
he wanted that, but everybody got a bit distracted, I feel. And if you look at it very logically, India lost 2 matches that mattered, and that was the end of story. I think at some level, he didn't handle that properly. And then for him to expect that he will continue as the 50-over captain was a bit foolhardy. I think once he had resigned as T20 captain, the decision to captain in the other formats was taken away from him. It was now in the hands of the selectors.
But this is not how, politics shouldn't really come into cricket, right? Because you got to see his, the stats and see his record as captain and as a player. And not be like, oh, he behaved like a brat or resigned using words that we weren't happy with. So now we will push him out.
How much time do we have to talk about politics in India?
This is entirely political then.
It's not political as in the political. It's like, nothing in Indian cricket is without a touch of politicking.
Sure.
But cricket politics. And it's not something that is new. It's been there since 1929 when BCCI came into existence. So it's not something that is entirely new for Indian cricket. And it's always been there. There's always been a bit of intrigue about Indian cricket captaincy, and we've had various captains. It's just that we got into a sense of comfort zone after Kumble went as captain, that for about 10, 12 years or 13 years, we were in a space where कुछ भी हो जाए कप्तानी में कोई छेड़खानी नहीं होगी, because there was a smooth transition from Kumble to Dhoni to Kohli. So we felt that everything was like hunky dory. It's just that Kohli, if there's one failing of him as a test captain, in the one day and T20, we'll find players, because that's the format that our guys love playing. In test cricket, while he built a great team, he didn't build a second in command. The second in command were all his peers. So Rahane, Pujara, and to some extent Rohit Sharma. So they were all his peers. They all come from the same age group per se. So what happened was, once he went, Rahane and Pujara are now on the way out of the test team. Now you're like running helter-skelter, because you're going to have virtually a new lineup. And Rohit is unsure, in the sense that he's injured half the time, he's playing, not playing, people are not sure of how he fits into the 11 and so on and so forth. So then you are forever going to be looking over your shoulder now. So we're going to have a period of flux in Indian test cricket. Good part is we're going to play a lot of test cricket at home in the next 12 to 20 months. And then we'll start touring. So 2.5 years from now, when we start touring, we'll realize how neck deep we are in the water.
But that is very scary, that after 2.5 years, we'll realize how bad it is.
Because for 2 years, we've not had any kind of domestic first-class cricket. We've had no Ranji Trophy cricket. We've had no Dulip Trophy. India is the only country in the world in this pandemic not to have had a domestic first-class competition. So you're picking players basis what they did in white ball cricket for red ball format, or basis what they did in 2019-20 Ranji Trophy. So you're looking at 2.5 years back to pick players for 2022, because you have not had anything, and there's been no initiative to hold Ranji Trophy. We were supposed to start Ranji Trophy. Today was supposed to be the start of the second match in the Ranji Trophy season. Because of the pandemic, it's gone for a toss, and I don't see it happening. So in about 2 years' time, when Virat is 35, Rohit is 37, you're still looking for a replacement for Pujara and Rahane, you will then realize that the supply line is suddenly choked up. You will produce players because of the sheer weight of our population. I'm not painting an alarmist picture, but I'm just telling you a fact that it's going to be a struggle for the next 2-3 years.
But are you putting the blame basically on his captaincy?
See, he is responsible for the team. He was responsible for the team. The board is responsible for ensuring that the Ranji Trophy and the domestic competitions happen. They didn't do that. And he was responsible for putting together a test team. He did. He created a culture for fast bowling. But now if you look at it in that lineup, basically what has happened is, from the 11 that played in South Africa in the last test match, half the guys won't feature in the first test match next month against Sri Lanka. Because your best bowler away doesn't play at home, and your best bowler at home isn't successful away. So Ashwin is your best bowler at home. He was hardly successful in South Africa. Bumrah has played one test match in 4 years at home. Shami has not played much in test cricket in India. Shardul Thakur will not feature because you don't need a third seamer at home. So you're basically looking at two separate test teams. That has been the case for the last 1.5-2 years. And so on what yardstick do you judge this test team going forward? For the next 9 to 10 test matches, it will be at home or home-like conditions. How do you judge this test team? You don't know if you have gained anything or lost something.
Do you think if he
hadn't...
hadn't...
not playing a broad period.
If he hadn't...
Not playing for another 2 years.
Okay.
If he hadn't quit... If he hadn't quit right now, you think the BCCI would have said, okay, bye?
See, he had painted himself into a corner. As in, like, he had like really pushed himself into a corner with that press conference before the tour. That was he did the press conference, which was mandatory. He did the press conference. He could have handled that question in a much better way.
Remind us that question and his answer.
So basically, he was asked whether the BCCI asked him not to quit as T20 captain. He said, no, nothing of that sort happened. Everybody received it nicely. This was in response to what Saurav said, that we asked him not to.
We asked him not to quit.
Yeah.
Now, again, he didn't handle that question properly. Then again, he made a big deal about the fact that, he was told 90 minutes before the meeting that he's being sacked as the one-day captain. Now, there have been times when Indian captains have come to know their appointment or sacking through the media. He at least got a call. So things have changed in that sense. So he should be thankful for that at least that happened. And whether he was told 90 minutes or 15 minutes, it doesn't matter. It's the selector's
call. It's not in his hands.
It's not in his hands. The day he resigned as the T20 captain on his own, nobody asked him to resign. That day, he lost the right to give himself unending powers to continue as captain of India in all three formats or the remaining two formats.
Okay. But I remember discussing with you at the time that he quit his T20 captaincy that perhaps it was a good move.
It was a good move, but the timing was wrong. Because at that time, you sort of, before the T20 World Cup, you made it about
the World Cup was coming, correct.
You made it about yourself. The same thing happened with RCB. Before the IPL, he said, I'm quitting as RCB captain. So basically, if you start making it about yourself, the team is going to be distracted. And, then the tournament became about farewells. Virat's going, Ravi is going, Bharat is going, Sridhar is going, that one is going, this one is going, trainer is going, Messier is going, everybody is going. So the team is distracted.
Yeah, and cricket is not just about physical fitness; it's mental fitness too. So if you're distracted and you're sad or whatever, not going to be able to perform.
Imagine for an Indian or for an Indian cricket team, so be so organized to know that in 1 month's time all these people are going. हमें ये नहीं पता था आज बाकी 2 घंटे बाद क्या करने वाले हैं. आप 1 महीने बाद की बात कर रहे हैं. मतलब you are putting us at the same level as the West.
Fair enough. So now he's gone and done what he has, and your perspective is completely right. We're playing a couple of years of domestic test cricket before we even go international. So it's going to be...
We're playing one test match in England, which series which got cancelled last year. That one test match got cancelled, and 2 in Bangladesh. So similar conditions.
So who do you think are the best options under those circumstances to now step in as captain for the test series, for the test team?
So ideally, it should be Rohit Sharma because he was anointed as the vice captain for this test team before he got injured. Now it remains to be seen if Rohit wants the job in all 3 formats. The good thing is that the test schedule is not that heavy, but the problem with Rohit has been his injury.
The injuries,
it's cropping up from time to time. Next best option is KL Rahul. He captained in the second test match in South Africa. He looked a bit out of sorts. Even in the IPL when he has led Punjab Kings, he's looked a bit out of sorts. Gavaskar has come up with a left field idea of Rishabh Pant as the test captain. I don't quite agree. Because he's the only guy who's sure of playing home and away in test matches. So,
that logic. Okay.
Yeah. So in that lineup, what has happened by default, there were only 2 guys who were sure of playing in test cricket away, home and away, apart from Pujara and Rane, were Kohli and Pant. Otherwise, Ashwin hardly would feature away and Bumrah hardly would feature home. So you can't have a bowler as a captain in that sense. So then India has paid and Kohli here is responsible for this, that there was no clear succession planning.
Line of command, yeah.
So that's
the people. Imagine Rohit Sharma is like Andho mein Kana Raja right now.
No, I wouldn't be that harsh. But he's been around for a long time. He's performed in the last 1.5 to 2 years in test match cricket. His injuries, his fitness is the concern for everybody. Now, whether he wants to take on the test mantle in addition to being the T20 and one-day captain, there are 2 World Cups. The T20 World Cup this year and the one-day World Cup next year. And that one-day World Cup is at home. So the pressure is going to be that much more immense. do you want to take up so much on your head? Is a question. Plus, he's the Mumbai Indians captain. So you're looking at four roles that he has to do over the next 20 months. I don't know if he wants that much responsibility at this stage.
But captain is captain, no? How different are the roles?
So captain is captain, but the challenges vary.
Yeah.
And you're taking over the test team at a time when you're going to have probably a new team in the next couple of years. Ashwin is 35, Ishant is on his last legs, Shami is 32, 31. So there are going to be lots of players who are going to be going on the other side of 30, as in like start going to push themselves away from the scene. So then he has to build it from scratch. He himself is 34. So he's going to be 35 this year. Does he want to take up so much responsibility? Remains to be seen.
Fair enough. Chandresh, let me end with this one question then. And it's a little bit of stargazing, I know, but you're very good at it. Is this the beginning of Virat Kohli's retirement announcement?
I have a feeling like that. And I say this because I get a sense looking at him and the way he has done it in the last few months that we are heading towards that. If I had anything to do with BCCI, I would try and make sure that he keeps far away from AB de Villiers, because AB de Villiers also went out in similar circumstances in South African cricket because of all the surround sound. He was the captain, he quit, then he started reducing the number of matches that he played for South Africa, and then he just disappeared. So
and then he wanted to come back. He had changed his mind, and then it was too late.
Changed his mind, but then it was too late because they wanted him more for him. So if I had anything to do with Indian cricket and BCCI, I would make sure that Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers are kept far apart. They are like brothers from two different mothers, and they're very close. And I get a sense that we are getting close because it doesn't take for a guy who was driven to lead India, whose whole mojo in life was to lead India, score runs, be at the forefront. Even in the last test match we win, for that guy to lose it, there has to be something more to it.
Fair.
Well, Virat, it'll be very, very tragic for Indian cricket, and it's not just the Virat Kohli fans, because he's really a fantastic player.
And he's the last of the superstars. He's the last of the superstars.
Yeah. And he's fit and in great, like physical shape, and it would be very, very tragic to quit. So Virat, don't get disheartened. Jo hua so hua. We hope to see you at least play for India for many, many years to come. Chandresh, thank you very much.
एक लाइन में कहता हूँ, आप बड़े अच्छे लगते हैं. उनको विराट को कहते हैं.
बड़े अच्छे लगते हैं. Correct.
I don't know if it is one or two.
Always one.
Always one.
But thank you, Chandresh. Thank you, dear viewer, for watching. If you watched it so far, please remember to like our video. Please remember to subscribe, turn that bell icon on. Also go to Cricket Chronicles with Chandresh and go subscribe there also. If you're a massive cricket fanatic, you will love his channel. Stay safe, double mask up, and we will talk to you very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.